Hot takes are everywhere, but they're often uninformed, and major news is biased. We've had enough of hot takes. We want informed takes. Join Kevin Briggins and Devin Smith as they have rational conversations about domestic politics, geopolitics, and military affairs. Things will get interesting as they bring in expert guests, even from across the aisle. Grab your favorite drink, get comfortable, and hop into the chat. It's time for Informed Takes.
Oh, welcome back, everybody, to Informed Takes. I am Kevin Briggins. He is Devin Smith, and we are glad that you all are back with us. We missed y'all last week. We hate that we had to take a week off, but there's just a lot going on. There's a lot going on, and so we both needed the break. And then today, a couple hours ago, we get more heavy news that Dr. Vodi Bakum has passed away. For those who don't know, Vodi is a Christian pastor and theologian and seminary president, and he had a large impact on a lot of us. And he was bold and unashamed. And back when, I guess, social media, YouTube became a thing, man, some of his stuff would just go viral because he was so clear in his articulation of the truth and in his boldness of it. So, so we have we've lost another titan of the faith, as I said on Facebook. And just a reminder that, not just that tomorrow's not promised, but to make the most of the time we have. So,
yes, amen.
Devin, man, how you been?
Man, been good, man. Just busy, trying to make it happen. As usual, it's been very interesting to the post Charlie fallout has been interesting. It's drawn some pretty clear lines in society. It's been very, very eye opening and heartbreaking in some pretty big ways. There's been a lot of good that we've seen from it, but also it just kind of, you kind of figure out where people stand. This kind of thing, just like it exposes that. And sometimes, exposes people you didn't expect to be in certain places,
100%. 100%. So, Charlie got killed on that Wednesday and we had our show on Thursday. And so it was still pretty raw. But since then, it's been 2 weeks and we've had a chance to see, okay, is there going to be a different tone? Is there going to be a different response, right, moving forward?
Right.
And I think we can say the answer to that is no.
Right.
Nothing changed.
No. No.
In terms of the political rhetoric, in terms of it's only gotten worse. And we're going to look at some of that. We're going to talk about just the growing threat of left-wing political violence and the the unhinged elements of the far left that are just basically losing their minds. And I don't even tell you this is the sad thing, and this is what separates the right from the left, right? Because you can have a crazy person on either side kind of deal.
Right.
It is that this stuff is coming from the mainstream of the Democrat Party.
That's well said, man. It's not like randos. It's not randos. It is, this stuff is coming from people who, in any other circumstance, if we're not trying to play around and pretend that these aren't extreme views, because what happens is somebody says something crazy and they'll be like, oh, that doesn't reflect all our views. I'm like, yo, this is like one of y'all's people. Like, y'all, you don't get to distance yourself from them now. Y'all were saying some of this craziness too. Like,
Yeah. And so when the mainstream actors are repeating what the Antifa activists on the streets are saying, or what the assassin is saying, like, there's a continuous stream of messaging going on, and there's no difference from what we would call the fringe elements and the mainstream.
Right. It's
the same language, the same rhetoric, and we're gonna get into it and look and see, this growing threat that my last couple years in the military, after January 6th, they tried to sit us down and they had what's called a stand down. Usually when there's something the military wants to get out a message, they do a stand down. So everybody stands down. You start what you're doing. You have these mandatory meetings, and the commander has to address, the unit. And after January 6th, we had one of those. And we had this whole briefing on the threat of basically political rhetoric and violence. And every single example was all pointed at right wing. There was nothing. And we had just went through the summer of love. We had just went through the George Floyd riots. We had just went through Chaz and all of this craziness. The city's burning, and we got not a single stand down, not a single briefing.
Yeah.
But January 6th happened, and then they sit us down. And then the FBI starts putting out, I'm just going to call it propaganda reports, that right-wing extremism is the number one threat to America. That was Joe Biden's administration.
Yeah, of course it was.
Right?
Yeah.
And nobody believed it. Nobody believed it. White supremacists is the greatest threat to America. Like, nobody believed it.
No.
And now here we are, and you've basically got, Donald Trump running for president, almost shot, a second assassination attempt. And now, Charlie Kirk, political, commentator, assassinated. You've got a ICE facility shot up today or
Yep.
yesterday. You had the ABC news building in LA that was shot up because someone was upset because Jimmy Kimmel got canceled.
Right.
Come on.
Shot into the lobby. How unhinged do you have to be? You gonna shoot into the lobby and just, and the crazy thing is that the guy was a lawyer for a teachers federation.
And that's the thing, is it isn't like guy in basement. These are these are professionals.
Right.
You had the CEO healthcare assassination that everybody that people cheered.
Right.
And made, the dude that did a celebrity.
Right.
You've had the Tesla burnings.
Right.
And yeah, all of this is left wing. Left wing craziness. And so it's just, yeah, man, we've got a serious problem, and we're going to look at some of the data and some of the polling that has come out even since Charlie Kirk was assassinated, and we're going to see we've got a major problem on the political left. Major problem.
Absolutely. And people, I've seen a lot of people trying to both sides this thing. Nah, I'm sorry. This is not a both sides thing. We can all, if you're being honest, we can all admit right now that if Charlie Kirk were somebody on the left, especially if he was a black man.
Oh my goodness. The rhetoric and the it would be ridiculous.
And you talking about riots. You talking about riots. But what happened? Yeah. Charlie Kirk gets killed, and prayer vigils, memorial service, gospel getting preached.
We are not the same.
Not the same. And so I don't have a whole lot of patience. I don't have a whole lot of patience for anybody who tries to both sides this thing. This is not a both sides issue. I'm sorry. Y'all like the whole political normalcy of both sidesing every single thing that happens just because, well, we have to, because neither side is perfect and all that stuff. No, we acknowledge neither side is perfect. That's not the issue here. Like,
kick rocks.
Bullets are flying. Like,
I do not care anymore.
Right.
Yeah, my level of reaching across the aisle, my desire to reach across the aisle and make peace is zero.
Yeah.
Zero. Because you have shown that you legitimately hate us.
Right.
Right. Charlie Kirk's assassination getting celebrated.
Right.
Or yeah, this is tragic, but he brought it on himself. Like, okay. So you believe this lying rhetoric about fascism and racism, and it's all a bunch of lies. And we was like, okay, that's political rhetoric. It's annoying, but it's politics. But it's like, no, you idiots really believe it. You really believe it. And it's like, okay, you do? Well, then don't look for a shake from me. Don't look for me to tone it down and make peace. No, because y'all still out here with the same rhetoric that got him killed.
Right. Y'all talking about who needs to be next. Like,
yeah.
I mean, y'all have radicalized the youth to where they're out here talking this way. And then I thought, like you said, I thought the rhetoric coming from Democrats would calm down. I thought it would calm down, but it's not what I'm seeing. And then the Jimmy Kimmel situation. Jimmy Kimmel made a non-apology. What was it? Was the show back on Tuesday night? I think it was Tuesday.
Yeah, I didn't watch it, and I didn't see any. I didn't watch any clips. I didn't care what he had to say. I
saw the video. I saw the video today. I mean, he even tried to pretend that he did not blame it on the MAGA movement. He tried to pretend.
That's why I don't care.
Yeah.
I don't care because these people are not rational, honest individuals.
Right.
They are brainwashed. Put it like this. Marx, the term useful idiots. And we're seeing it real time. Like, these people are just programmed useful idiots. And no matter how much truth you give them, no matter how much data you give them, no matter how many Charlie Kirk videos you give them with Charlie Kirk expressing his views on race, or Charlie Kirk fully explaining his DEI positions, no matter what you do, they revert back to their programming, right? And to see it real time, it's like, oh, you really are broken. Like, your mind is really fried. I can see it in your eyes. Because no matter what you're presented with, you just kind of revert back, right? And so, I'm done.
Right.
And so I'm just going to call it out. I'm just going to attack it. And the sane and rational people will come together, and the loonies can sit over there in the corner and do whatever.
Right. Yeah, that's where I am now. One of the things that I'm thankful for is that the people who have eyes to see what's going on, I think that this moved a lot of those folks. I mean, you saw video after video after video of people saying, I will never vote Democrat again. Like, I've voted Democrat my whole life. I will never vote Democrat again. You see video after video after video of people who said, I haven't been to church in 20 years. I'm going. You see videos of lines to get into churches wrapping around the building.
Yeah. Hello, time out. Julian, I'm just going to be honest. If you're going to call us fascists, we might as well be. You do not want this. We can just be fascists and take over the country. If you want us to be fascists, we'll just be fascists. We'll create a Christian nationalist state that you will have to live under. But unless you want that, shut up. Because that's not what's going on. Stop with the stupid name calling.
Yeah.
That is the stupid stuff that is getting people shot. There are no fascists.
Right.
This is not freaking Germany. I know you missed out on that. But this ain't it.
Yeah.
Chill out, or we can just go at it. I'm done.
This is so everybody has a frame of reference. We have a viewer here who is
an idiot.
Basically saying that Trump is a fascist.
Trump's a fascist and all this. Like, man, I'm trying not to say some 4-letter words, dude. I have zero tolerance. You don't understand. I do not care. You get no love from me. You will get no patience. You will get no grace. You will get nothing but my wrath and my anger from here on out.
Yeah,
you want it, you got it.
So this is an example. This is an example of this right here. This right here is an example of what
low
has
IQ
caused violence. Yeah.
Is example of low IQ programming with no ability to think for himself. Look up the definition of fascist. Look at reality.
Yeah.
Look at reality. Has Trump taken over the federal government? Has the military come in to strip all your rights away?
Nope.
Has he taken power? Has he ripped up the Constitution? Has he done anything the Democrats said he was going to do when he got in power? The answer is no. Stop being a programmable sheep.
Julian, here's the deal. What you're doing right now, I'm gonna go ahead and let you know. What you're doing right now, one, it's not going to be tolerated very long here. So you need to calm that junk down. Second of all, that's what got Charlie Kirk shot. What you're doing right now is what got Charlie Kirk shot.
You can have an alternate viewpoint. You can have a disagreement, but the stupid name calling about fascists and race, ism or phobia, all of this nonsense is going to stop.
Right.
Articulate your point or shut up.
Yep.
But the name calling is gonna stop.
Yeah. The whole idea that you're just gonna call somebody a fascist instead of engaging the argument. That's
We ain't doing it no more, man.
Yeah, we're not dealing with that stuff. And as a matter of fact, future our gracious moderator, go ahead and kick that dude out the chat because we done with that cat. I agree with Wolf here. Allowing this guy around is disrespecting the audience, man. Bye, Julian. Peace out.
Yeah.
We're not dealing with it anymore.
No.
Because this is where we have been brought to, is that we don't have to play games with this stuff anymore. We understand that it is actually radicalizing people. It is actually causing people to be attacked, murdered. I mean, and the fact that after Charlie Kirk has been murdered, that 2 weeks later, you're in our chat calling him and Trump fascists again. I can't, man. And we don't have to pretend like we have to listen to this crap anymore. We don't.
No.
And I'm glad that you're showing the world who you are. The rest of the people who think like you are showing the world who they are. And I hope that people who think like you, quite honestly, I pray to God that he would grant you repentance, that you would change from your wicked ways. But if you won't do that, I pray that he brings judgment. Because at this point, we can't play games no more. Bullets are flying. We can't play games no more.
Nope, would not be tolerated. There's zero tolerance. For just the blatant name calling and stuff. It's just no. We're not playing that game.
Yeah,
like I said,
it's a wrap. It's a wrap.
I can deal with liberals, left wing viewpoints. Express your viewpoint. Make your argument. But just the stupid name calling. No, I'm with you, man. I'm with you. And I mean, like you said, we thought that stuff was going to calm down. I mean, this is a prime example. We thought that people were going to calm down, and here we go. Future, thank you for dealing with that. It's just they're not rational actors.
No.
They're not rational actors, and we have tried to reason. We have tried to use logic. We've tried to use and nothing works. Nothing works. So if they want it, they can get it. That's all I got to say.
I think that at this point, I'm glad. Like I said, I'm glad because people are seeing what's really going on here. It's no more. Oh, it's just difference of opinion. Oh, we no longer have to pretend that this mentality is in any way compatible with the American way of life. If you want freedom of speech, people like that, they cannot be allowed to act crazy anymore in society. They cannot be allowed to go, and this whole idea that you're going to go and you're going to start marching on folks with masks on and assaulting people in public, there needs to be zero tolerance for that anymore. The whole out here calling people fascists and on, out here talking about so-and-so needs to be next, that kind of stuff. I would be afraid to say that because there are actual laws against threats. Like free speech is limited when you start making threats against people. So when you go in public and you say something like that, I would be careful because they might be able to get you on something. And I don't want to help anybody who really thinks that way to hide, but if you're out here doing that stuff, you need to really think about where you are, because this could, as Kev said, the folks with the patience here, the folks having the prayer vigils, the folks who are here saying, all right, we need to follow in in Charlie's legacy, a lot of those folks also know how to defend themselves. And they will defend themselves. And all I'm saying is you don't want that smoke. You do not want that smoke. And I pray to God we don't get there, because there's a lot of people who are on the edge right now.
They've taken our kindness for weakness for a long time.
Yes.
Because we're kind, we don't return evil for evil. We don't do, and they've just pushed and pushed and pushed. Like, and it's because they've had the media in their back pocket. There's no way, because when I was looking for videos and stuff for us to show tonight, it just reminded me of how crazy 2020 was, right? And all of the nonsense.
Oh yeah.
And yet the media was on their side. The media was basically silent, and supporting them, and Democrats, posting links to send money to bail people out of jail. And like, no, we ain't doing this no more, man.
Not compatible with the American way of life, the ideas upon which this country was founded, the culture that is necessary, the principles that we have to abide by are not compatible with that mess. And you bring up a good point. It's not fringe, man. When you have politicians raising money to bail people out of jail who were out there, looting and
feel like this. If someone is in jail, they weren't peacefully protesting. And so when Kamala Harris is on X posting a link to send money to bail people out, she knows exactly what she's doing.
She knows what she's doing.
She's bailing out the people who were committing violent acts.
Right. And endorsing it. That's an endorsement. That's not just bailing the person out. That's approval of what they did. You're furthering that. You're fostering
and asking for more. Yeah, you're fostering more people to go out. Yeah. And they did this, and the media never called them out on it.
Nope. Never did.
But let somebody on the right sneeze, right? And it's going to be all types of reports and rebuke, and we ain't planning no more. No. But we got examples to show of the fact let's dive into it.
People ain't changed. So let's take a look.
Welcome back to The Lead, the national lead now. By most accounts, almost all of the people protesting against the hateful bigots, the Nazis and Klansmen in Charlottesville, were peaceful, but not all of them. In their midst was a sometimes very violent group of protesters that call themselves Antifa, known to not only clash with bigots, but also sometimes with police and occasionally storefronts. At least 2 journalists in Virginia were assaulted by violent counter-protesters over the weekend, including this cameraman from the Richmond CBS affiliate. CNN's Sarah Ganim now takes us inside Antifa and shows us this group like you've never seen it before.
It's 6 a.m. in Portland, Oregon, and we're headed to a bar with blacked out windows. They wanted to meet us really early in the morning because they're concerned about a lot of people being around. We are meeting members of the Rose City Antifa, short for anti-fascist. This group's main goal is to disrupt neo-Nazis and white supremacists, but also take on government and capitalism.
Antifa is any group that's willing to stand up against fascists by any means necessary.
By any means necessary, they say, can mean outing a white nationalist at their work or to their neighbors. Or, as we've seen recently, violence, fires, property damage, hand-to-hand combat at protests across the country. Explain to me the reasoning behind fighting.
You have to make it so unpalatable to be doing white supremacist organizing that they no longer want to do that. And historically, that's what's worked. You have to put your body in the way, and you have to make it speak in a language that they understand, and sometimes that is violence.
There's no firm number on how many Antifa activists there are in the U.S. because there isn't any one organization. Most are local groups that recruit and communicate through social media. But experts who track these organizations say their membership is growing in response to the rise of white national groups and the election of President Donald Trump. Violence violence and property destruction led to more than 200 arrests in Washington, D.C. on Inauguration Day. Prosecutors say they were wearing masks covered head to toe in black, a tactic the Antifa call black bloc.
People dress in black bloc for a few things. One,
Scott Crow has been leading anarchist and militant leftist groups for decades.
so people put on the masks so that we can all become anonymous. And then therefore we are able to move more freely and do what we need to do, whether it is illegal or not.
So some people will push back on that and say that the black bloc is to keep people from being identified and arrested when they break the law, when they commit crimes.
Damn right. It's a good way to avoid the ramifications of law enforcement.
We saw that firsthand at a May Day protest in New York City.
We cover our face because the Nazis will try to find out who we are. And that is a very bad thing because they harass people. When they organize, they kill people, they hurt people, they fight people. And we're the ones who are fighting back. They are the second coming of Hitler.
Police in Berkeley told us they haven't seen this kind of destruction since the 1960s. Law enforcement in other cities are dealing with similar situations, like in Portland, Oregon, where Antifa have been involved in at least 10 protests ending in violence, according to police. And it's wearing on the community.
It is new. It's like this rumble mentality of, I'm going to bring my friends, you bring your friends, and we're going to fight it out in the park. It's not something we've seen here. It's not good for the city. People are just frustrated by it. It's affecting their livability. It's affecting their business.
Has it become more violent?
It happens quicker. The fire starting that we saw on May Day is something we haven't really seen much of in the past. The running through the street, breaking windows and everything in sight. We haven't seen it as consistently as we've seen it in the last 8 months.
But it's the violence that's gotten them attention, directly confronting groups that preach white nationalist rhetoric, like on Inauguration Day, when white nationalist Richard Spencer was punched in the face. And it was the Antifa movement that caused Berkeley to cancel speeches by extreme right provocateurs like Milo Yiannopoulos.
If there are the more hardcore elements, the white supremacists and neo-Nazis that go to these rallies that are itching for a fight, we're there to say, we'll stand in your way.
The thing is, Jake, that experts who I've talked to say that the Antifa violence may end up actually hurting their cause. Across the country, people who are dressing in black bloc are getting arrested. Authorities are taking this seriously, but that's not stopping them at all. They have been telling me that they believe that this tactic is working. Now, one of the interesting things that I found in doing this reporting, what's really surprised me, is that we found that a lot of these new Antifa members, they're young people, disenfranchised young people who felt that they were let down by both parties after the election, and this is where they ended up. Jake?
Yeah. So we just pretend like that didn't happen, right? And that was 2016. That was before 2020, right?
Right.
That's 2016. They're upset about the election. And think about it. You got a bunch of young people. At the end of the day, there are a bunch of young people looking for a cause, right? Because I'm going to be honest, I don't need your little punk self out there to oppose some white nationalist Nazi group. Like, nobody asked you to do that. You're not actually doing anything except making up a cause, dressing up like Batman and going out and playing Crusader.
Right.
Right. But they're brainwashing these young kids into this ideology, because it's one thing when you say, oh, this is a Nazi group and this is a fascist group. But when you start labeling that, putting that label on anybody, which is what they've been doing, anybody gets labeled a Nazi. Anybody gets labeled a fascist. And therefore you justify these types of people. And you heard them talking about violence being necessary and things like that. That is why the rhetoric matters so much. They know that they are weaponizing these people and mobilizing these young people to commit violence on their behalf, right? This isn't just politics. This is actually calling for violence. When you say someone is a fascist and a Nazi and all this type of stuff, you know what you're doing, right?
Yeah.
And so now somebody tries to kill Trump because they think he's a fascist, tries to kill him twice, because how many times are the people in the news going to say it? How many times are Democrat politicians going to say it? You know, you say the same thing about Charlie Kirk, he gets taken out, right? And you would think, oh man, let us, this is getting out of hand, let us stop. No, they continue, they double down, because at the end of the day, what we've learned is these people do not care. They do not care. The only thing they care about is power. They weaponized the justice system against Trump. They tried to put him in prison. They tried to bankrupt him. They tried to take him off the ballot. They did all of this stuff to try to win that election. They tried to push Joe Biden through, even though we knew he had dementia, you know. And then they sat him down. And then did they do an open election? Or, nope. Primary? Nope. They just handpicked Kamala Harris and threw her in there. Yep. And then they got the nerd talk about we trying to protect and save our democracy.
Yeah. Yeah. First of all, we don't have a democracy. We have a constitutional republic. Second of all, for people who want democracy, y'all do the most undemocratic stuff. I mean, goodness. So yeah, man, I think that these examples, right? We've listed off some of them, some of the examples of left-wing violence. You're right, like the Charlottesville thing, Rose City Antifa. The problem that I have is that Antifa doesn't just go after they don't just go after neo-Nazis. They go after anybody who they think represents fascism, and their definition of fascism is pretty dang broad. Just like Mr. Calming Waves Julian, who we had to remove out of here. To him, Trump's a fascist, and therefore, because Charlie Kirk supported Trump, Charlie Kirk's a fascist as well, is what he was implying. And neither of them is a fascist. I'm sorry to inform you.
Disappoint. It's just a bunch of young people with no purpose in life looking for a cause. It's like I talk about black people hate they missed out on the civil rights movement, right?
Right.
They just need a cause to march for,
right?
Same thing with these young people. They hate they missed Germany. They hate they missed World War II, and they just got to come up with a new cause to go out there and fight and march for. It's like, go do something with your life. Somebody asked you to be on the street fighting Neo. No, we didn't ask you to do that.
That's a great point. Is that when they say that they're disenfranchised, that's right. I'm not saying that those folks aren't disenfranchised, but what I will say is that when we say disenfranchised, sometimes what that implies is that somebody failed them, right? That society failed them, that society didn't listen or something like that. And that's not what happened, okay? That's not what happened. I will say that in a sense, they have been failed insofar as they have been brought up in an era where truth was painted as relative, where the idea that truth doesn't exist, the idea that God isn't real, and therefore nothing has any meaning. If God's not real, then nothing in life has any ultimate meaning. There's no reason, there's no purpose to suffering. It just happens. It's just cruel, cold, hard, materialistic reality, right? And that creates nihilism. And nihilism creates people who decide, you know what? I don't like the way it is. And if none of this means anything, or if there's not a purpose to me suffering, or a purpose to me not getting what I want, which might not actually equal suffering, right? Then I'm going to do whatever I have to do to live in the world that I want, to get what I want before I die, because they believe there is nothing after death. All they have is this life. And so they are going to carry out acts like what we've seen. They're going to put on black bloc. They're going to shoot. They're going to try to shoot the president. They're going to kill Charlie Kirk. They're going to do these things because to them, all the people who don't think like they want are in the way of utopia. They're in the way of the society they want to live in. And if there's no God to hold them accountable for killing somebody and they can just cut to the chase, I don't have to convince them. I just got to eliminate them. That's what they're going to do. And that's where they're at now, because they've been convinced. They've been convinced that there is no hope outside of power. And so they're just going to do what they got to do. And that's what we're seeing.
Yeah. So I was watching a video on Chaz. That was the autonomous zone they created in Seattle when they took over the blocks.
That's right.
Of the city. And it was like an inside reporter got an inside look at it. And it's just a bunch of hippies, a bunch of hippie kids, right?
Oh, absolutely.
That just want to sit around and play their guitar and smoke weed and draw hearts on the concrete and like just not do life, right?
Oh,
and that's why they're against capitalism.
At night, it was different. At night, violent crime was happening.
It was wild. It was wild. And think about this, because in that video, you had people at the guard post, at the barricades, that were armed with guns. Mm-hmm. So you had left-wing activists armed, right? Burn out a police station, clear out blocks of a major city, hold it hostage, claim it as an autonomous zone free from the jurisdiction of the United States of America. And no one said insurrection.
Nope.
No one said anything like that.
Nope.
Right? And this was an armed takeover of a major U.S. city.
Right.
Right. And the news just kind of like, nothing happened. Let's move on. You know?
Right.
And we know people got shot in there. People died. Yeah, it was crazy.
That's
but
right.
Yeah, man, these are just, and that's why they mentioned they're against capitalism. They're just a bunch of lazy kids who have been spoiled their whole life, and life isn't all rainbows and Skittles, and now they're upset because their participation trophies don't hold any weight. And so, they want to get rid of capitalism so that they can grab a hold of everyone else's money and to live and do what they want to do, which is nothing. That's all this is, And these Democrat politicians, I'm gonna keep calling them out. They are mobilizing these young people as their little minion army, right? When they say, when they're constantly calling people fascists, they put like this, man. Trump had a political rally in New York City, and the media went as far as to dig up the fact that there was some Nazi or Klan rally in New York City in that same arena in 1939, and decide just to make the comparison because it was in the same venue. Right? That's the dishonest stuff. Right? It's just completely dishonest, and it's trying to paint something that's not true, and they don't understand. And there are life and death consequences tied to this.
Right.
And they're acting like they don't care.
Nope.
So I was like, okay.
Nope.
All right.
Yeah.
And so, it's just zero tolerance, man. I'm done playing this game.
We've got more to look at. Let's take a look.
Yeah.
Let me ask you tonight, do you think Donald Trump is a fascist?
Yes, I do.
This is what kicking the shit out of fascism looks like.
Try to prevent
the spread of the lawlessness and the fascist chaos that's been unleashed against us.
So when we say Donald Trump is a fascist, fascism, a huge component of fascism is uniting racism, bigotry, a form of racist nationalism.
We are now living in a fascist dictatorship.
We are worried about potential rise of fascism in this country. We're worried about our democracy falling to an authoritarian and potentially fascist form of government.
Not only to roll over to Donald Trump's will, but to roll over our democracy and allow him to take over this country as a fascist dictator.
When fascism isn't just coming, it's already here.
The former chairman of the Joint Chiefs of Staff, Mark Milley, said, "No one has ever been more dangerous to this country than Donald Trump, and he is a fascist to his core."
There you have it. There you have it. A bunch of bull, right? Completely scripted, completely, everybody got the email and the memo, right? These are the talking points, right? Okay, got it. Right? And they know it's not true. They know it's not true. But when you have nothing, when you have no ideas, when you don't want to actually stand on policy, when you don't want to defend pin tampons in boys' bathrooms, when you don't want to defend the fact that you believe that biological males should play in female sports, right? When you don't want to deal with the fact that you can't even define what a woman is, right? When you don't want to deal with the fact that you allow over 10 million illegal aliens into the country, right? When you don't want to deal with the policy issues and the things that you've done, you come up with this type of rhetoric to just demonize your opponent because you have no arguments, right?
Right.
And that is why, once again, that is why Charlie Kirk was killed. They could not defeat him in an argument, right? And so if you can't defeat him, like the killer said, he has too much hate to be negotiated with. No, you just can't make your argument because you have none while you sitting there dating a little girl boy. Like, yeah, it's just mental, it's deranged. I don't care anymore. If you are a 22-year-old young man and you texting another little boy talking about some my love, you got a problem. Like that ain't no woman. Do I need to do the birds and the bees again? Do I need to get everybody the lesson again? Right?
Right. No, I mean the pretend game is over. I think that a lot of people, as much as we see all the crazies out here, and really what the videos that we showed, right? The videos that we just showed, those are two examples. I mean, we could fill an entire show. We could fill an entire show with this stuff to be able to talk about the literal problem that we have now, that the left has been radicalized, and thankfully people are leaving as they realize that there is no more place for them. They can't associate with that side anymore. I mean, goodness, Charlie Kirk. He said assassination culture is spreading on the left. 48% of liberals say it would be at least somewhat justified to murder Elon Musk. 55% said the same about Donald Trump. I mean, the man predicted his own death. In California, activists are naming ballot measures after Luigi Mangione. Yeah, I mean, like there's I can't remember what they called it, but yeah, their name they turned this guy into a folk hero. They turned Luigi Mangione into a folk hero, for crying out loud, a murderer. They turned him into a folk hero. If those are your heroes, man, my goodness. So he says the left is being whipped into a violent frenzy. Any setback, whether losing an election or losing a court case, justifies a maximally violent response. Yep. This is the natural outgrowth of left-wing protest culture, tolerating violence and mayhem for years on end. The cowardice of local prosecutors and school officials have turned the left into a ticking time bomb. The man predicted his own death. He saw it, he called it out, and he proved he was right with his own blood.
Yeah. And yeah, I mean, we've seen it. We see them doing it in real time, and they have not stopped. That's what got me. It's one thing when it's like, okay, all right, y'all, this went too far. We gotta stop. But when there's no care for your common man, you don't care. You just, okay, keep doing it. They do not care. And now that I know they don't care, that just changed everything. I mean, I'm just gonna be honest, man, they basically turned me into Rush Limbaugh right now. Like, I've always kind of wanted to be, just talking. No. I'm going to rant every week about the Democrats.
I mean, I will say that I'm thankful. I'm thankful that we don't have to act like we're just two sides of the same coin anymore, because we're not. We're not just two sides of the same coin. We're not. And acting like we are now is not being winsome.
No.
Okay? For all my winsomeness people out there, I am a fan of, just like Charlie was, letting somebody come up and speak their piece and being respectful, right? But placating a culture and a mentality that justifies violence if you suffer a political setback. We cannot act like that's
because let's think about it. I'm going back to the Democrats. They made this whole thing about a threat to democracy.
Right.
We're going to lose the country. We're going to lose democracy if he wins. And then when he wins, or when he's leading in the polls, you think when somebody takes a shot at him and try to kill him, that it's just a coincidence.
Right.
No, you created this fear. You created this false situation and got people riled up. This ain't about getting people to the polls. This is about getting people violent.
Yeah. And the issue, you mentioned it before. The issue is that this isn't fringe folks. These are people in the media saying this. These are actual Democrat elected officials saying this stuff. And we know they were doing it. They were doing it for political points. They were doing it to score political points. And at a certain point, I mean, to be honest with you, I don't think I've seen a politician call anybody a fascist since Charlie Kirk's death. Have you seen any of them do it since then?
If I'm not mistaken, I think Jasmine Crockett did. I think she still calls Trump a fascist.
Man.
Yeah.
We'll have to look it up. We'll have to find it.
Yeah.
And see if that's true. I mean, if she did, I mean, that's, I got to look it up. I got to see if she said it.
Yeah, see if she said it, because I thought I saw a clip of her saying something like that recently.
Oh man, oh my goodness. Well, here we go. Got it right here. Let me see. I'm gonna bring up a video right quick.
Yeah,
didn't take long to find it. Didn't take long to find it.
No, I mean she hadn't toned down at all. She's ratcheted it up, and I use the word ratchet intentionally.
I mean, and we've talked about this before, right? We've talked about how Jasmine Crockett's whole.
Did we ever play that video on here?
Oh yeah, of the way she used to be before she got elected to federal office. Yeah. She didn't used to talk. She didn't always talk like that.
Hey, before you play the video, put Drew Allen's comment up there.
Oh yeah, let's.
If a society can be convinced. Yeah, that is so true.
Let's read that out for
Drew.
For folks.
Drew. Who said this? Yeah, tell us who said this quote. That's a good quote.
If a society,
Go ahead.
Go ahead.
No, go ahead.
If a society can be convinced that the system is its biggest problem and not sin, then the need for a savior is removed. All that remains is statism. Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
And that is how
Facts.
the government becomes God. That is how revolution becomes the main purpose in life, right? Liberation becomes the main purpose.
Yes.
And you must overthrow the government, and it's always to some type of communist utopia.
Yes.
Every single time.
Yep. That's right. And if we can just get rid of these quote unquote fascists, then we can have a prosperous, just, equitable society. That's the language that you hear. So know what you're listening to when you hear that stuff. But I got Miss Crockett up here being ratchet.
Yeah. Go ahead and play it.
All right. Let's look at this mess, man.
So meanwhile, you obviously feel very strongly about the rhetoric that Charlie Kirk used, that you find objectionable, and also from others in the MAGA movement. As the memorial service for him is going to happen later today, there is a debate over heated rhetoric on all sides. And
listen, whether it's heated or not, the fact is Charlie Kirk should still be here. It should not have been that there was political violence that resulted because of the words that were coming out of his mouth, just like plenty of MAGA hates when I mention white supremacy, which kind of tells you where MAGA stands. But nevertheless, they get very upset when I talk about white supremacy. But that doesn't mean that somebody should then try to find a bullet or try to find a knife and harm me. Not in America. That's not who we are supposed to be.
Well, let me ask you, because I do want to play a couple of statements that you made earlier this year.
Okay. Unfortunately, we have someone that is occupying the White House, and as far as I'm concerned, he is an enemy to the United States. They want to show that they are loyal to this, I don't even know what to call him. I've called him so many things, but this wannabe Hitler for sure.
And to be clear, the president has attacked, other people have attacked you in his orbit, maybe not him personally. But do you have a responsibility as an elected official not to raise the temperature, but rather lower the temperature, particularly when there are people out there who listen to elected officials all over the place who are not well, who use that as a way to instigate the political violence that you are calling out?
I think that my responsibility is to be transparent and to be honest. And the reality is that we are living in a time in which this administration and this regime is not interested in making sure that people understand history. We need to understand why they are so problematic. And so I am using that language because it is accurate language. When we see the consolidation of power, when we see them trying to chill speech of jokesters, when we're seeing all of this, that is a playbook out of Hitler, and I won't deny it. Like, these are the facts. But one of the things that I've never done that the president has done consistently is called specifically for violence. He has said, oh, beat that one up. He has said those types of things. We know that Charlie Kirk was saying things about who should live and who should die. I have never said those kinds of things. And I think that those things are the ones that are really, really dangerous. And even still, some of that will still be protected. We know that we still have laws that are on the book that certain speech is not protected, that it does cross over when you are inciting violence, such as what we saw on January 6th. When you are doing what we consider to be a terroristic threat of some sort, where it's a matter of, I'm not just saying it, but I have the apparent ability to carry that out. But me laying out historical facts, just like they don't want to talk about the fact that slavery was real in this country and that my people were enslaved and dragged and raped and abused, and they don't want to account for any of that. They don't believe in reparations. No, I think it is okay for me to understand history and communicate in a very clear way about why we should feel as if there is a concern. And when we swear an oath, which is what that first clip was, we swear an oath to the Constitution to protect against all enemies, foreign and domestic. And so if there is someone that is evidencing themselves, such as the president, who is going out and says, yes, I will take a $400 million plane from a foreign government, or is engaged in receiving crypto that we cannot track in exchange for, say, giving away chips to Saudi Arabia. No, we absolutely need to understand how these things could cause us harm. Or when he's cozying up to somebody like Vladimir Putin, it's not only a problem for us, but it's a problem for our allies. When you have somebody like Poland that is like, yeah, this is what Russia's up to, and the president is like, oh, that may have just been a mistake. We need to understand what all his business dealings are, even with Russia, because that has the potential of putting us in harm's way.
Congresswoman Jasmine Crockett, thank you so much for being here. Nice to see you.
Good to see you too.
And up next.
She could have just said, yeah, I was wrong for that.
She could have. She could have said that. That's what she should have said.
I mean, she went from
mad,
slavery to reparations to his business dealings. None of that had anything to do with him being Hitler. She didn't say one single thing that related to him being Hitler. She just said a bunch of words, right?
To her, she justified it. She justified it by saying that he's consolidating power and he's silencing jokesters. So that's the Hitler playbook.
Do we want to talk about who was canceling comedians?
Right.
Do we really want to go there?
Right.
Oh, not only that. You know, did they forget about those articles from Facebook and Google talking about how the Biden administration was pressuring them to remove people? Google just announced they're gonna YouTube is going to, you know, basically free everybody from YouTube prison they put in prison because of the Biden administration, right? Yeah. This was the federal government using private companies to silence speech they did not agree with.
That's right.
But we don't want to call that fascism. We don't want to call that authoritarian, right? That's just okay. Mark Zuckerberg said, you know, at first they really weren't doing what the federal government was asking them to do. He said, then all of a sudden Meta started getting investigated by all of these different agencies, right? And so then Meta started complying. They started removing the hate speech and removing alternative COVID viewpoints and things like that. Nobody don't want to talk about that.
Nope. That wasn't fascism. That wasn't an affront to free speech. That, you know, that was fine. Jimmy Kimmel was cool with it until it was him. He was cool.
Oh
with
man,
it.
he sure was.
He was very
he sure
cool
was. I mean, and all of them was cool with the president getting kicked off of Twitter.
Oh yeah.
You know,
absolutely they were. They were. And look, we talked about Kimmel. Did we talk about Kimmel? I guess we didn't get a chance to talk about Kimmel because we weren't on last week. So here's my deal on Kimmel, okay? Here's my deal on Kimmel. The administration should never have pressured ABC. I think ABC really Nexstar, they want to acquire a bunch of affiliate stations. It has to go through Brendan Carr. Brendan Carr went on a podcast and basically said, y'all do something about him or we will. He mentioned him by name. That was wrong. That was flat out wrong. He should never have done that. So I'm not saying that the administration did not actually engage in curtailment of speech. I'm just saying that y'all who are whining about it the most, y'all who are complaining about it the most on the left need to sit this one out because y'all were good with it. For 4 years, y'all were good with it. Y'all were cool with it. Sit this one out. Let the people who actually believe in liberty and freedom of speech talk about this one because y'all don't. So y'all go and sit this one out.
Yeah, because the right was calling this out. Ted Cruz was very vocal against what the FCC did. Yeah.
Yes.
And so, but you're right. The hypocrites can sit down.
Yeah.
So let's pull up that other. It's kind of just the graphic of what Charlie Kirk was referring to.
Yes.
Just so
big
we can
deal.
see it, and
I've been wanting to show this graphic ever since a couple days afterwards, because you get folks who don't know. They don't know the they don't know how endemic the problem is to the left. They don't realize that this isn't a fringe thing, and these opinions are not abnormal on the left. So break down the graphic for us, my man.
Yeah, and so this is what Charlie Kirk was referring to. About 48% of those on the left believe that there's some justification for the murder of Elon Musk, and 55% believe there's some justification for the murder of Trump. And remember when Trump got shot at the event, just like there were TikToks that were celebrating Charlie Kirk's, there were TikToks that were expressing their anger that the shooter missed Trump. Right. This is just unhinged stuff. And this isn't just mental illness, right? There are mentally ill people. The guy who stabbed the Ukrainian girl in the train, he was mentally ill, right? This is not what we're talking about. We're talking about everyday people who have just been radicalized to believe all the stuff Jasmine Crockett just said, and everything from that montage of we're living under a dictatorish, fascist dictatorship, right? There are people who believe this stuff. And so, yeah, if you believe that, you're going to be, you're justified in doing this to save democracy. You got to save the country, you know? And then, 57% said that it was okay to destroy Tesla dealerships. Like, this is the left. This isn't 20%. This isn't 10. No, we're talking about 50% and over.
Right.
This is, yeah.
Yeah. So here's the thing, like you're going to have people who will be like, well, they didn't interview everybody on the left. No, you're right. They didn't. It's basically impossible to do that. What they did is the way that these studies work is they go and they try to get a broad swath of people. Some studies do a good job of that. Others don't. Here's why I think that this is accurate. Because there are videos, multiple videos of first of all, you saw videos pour in on these social networks, on TikTok especially, of people celebrating Charlie Kirk getting shot.
And Blue Sky.
Blue Sky. We showed it on the show the day after Charlie Kirk died, right? The day after Charlie died, we showed it. Blue Sky had to issue warnings that people were going to get their accounts suspended for celebrating Charlie getting shot.
And pinning list up of who should be next.
That's right. And it wasn't just one person who was talking about who should be next. There were a lot of people who were basically like, oh, it should be Trump, it should be Elon, it should be this person, it should be that person. The one that they straight up had a whole list and then had Charlie Kirk's name crossed off.
Yeah.
I mean, this so Blue Sky was showing this, right? Then you have videos of people going in the days after on college campuses and asking people, just people minding their business, going up and asking those people, is it right that Charlie got shot? How do you feel about it? They would ask them, how do you feel about it? And the number of what you would think are average normal people on that college campus who said, yeah, he had it coming. I see it as a good thing.
Yep.
The amount of people who said that, the amount of people on my feed on Facebook, just on my feed on Facebook, right? The amount of people I know personally who were like, well, he said some gun deaths are necessary. So some gun deaths are worth it to have the Second Amendment. People I know, that's their response.
Yeah.
Right? That's not, I'm not saying those people are celebrating, right? But they definitely ain't bothered by it. They're not bothered. Those folk are not bothered.
No,
that he got shot.
But think about first of all, the quote is completely out of context.
Correct.
But even if it was, like, you're basically saying, unless you agree that we should take all guns away and do gun confiscation from every citizen, then if you get shot and killed, then you deserved it.
It's your fault.
That's basically the left's position.
Right.
Either you want, and it's the thing. These are the people who complain about a fascist. Like this.
No, go ahead and preach, bro.
They complain about fascism.
Right.
And at the same time, they believe you should disarm the public.
Right.
Make that make sense.
It's like they don't pay attention to history, because if you paid attention to history, you would know that no fascist government can actually rise up until you take away all of the citizens' ability to use lethal force.
And
you ain't gonna have fascism.
And they know that because they are the ones who want to be the fascists.
Right. That's right. That's right. The funny thing is, like, okay, so they mad at Trump, right? They mad at Trump, and they're saying that he's a fascist, right? Worst fascist ever. Okay, he's the worst fascist ever if he's a fascist. Okay, he's not doing a great job of being very fascistic, because he lets y'all go out on social media and talk all that junk. I can promise you, if he was really a fascist, if Trump really just did to y'all what he would like to do when y'all talk junk, because Trump does not, he don't like dealing with people who are who don't like him. Okay, he said at the funeral, he said, Charlie would always tell me we don't want to demonize anybody. We want to love our enemies. And he's like, I'm gonna be honest, I hate my enemies. He said that, right? He said he hated his enemies. I don't want the best for him. I can't stand them, right? And he admitted, okay, I appreciate that he was honest about that, right? But if Trump was doing what he wanted to do out there, he'd probably find some way to get you. You out there talking big junk on Twitter, he find some way to get you. I mean, but he ain't doing that, is he? Yeah, you get fired from America, right? He'd probably deport you. You know what I'm saying? If he can do what he wants
to an El Salvador prison,
right? Right. If he just really decided, like, I'm done with this, and he was being fascistic, not to mention that you literally have two other co-equal branches of government who would have to who would step in at that point. So let's not even pretend like that would even really happen. Okay. But he ain't out here doing that, right? He ain't out here deporting people because they say things he don't like. You know what happens in a fascist government? They kill you. They don't deport you. A fascistic government, you want to look back in human history, you want to read some history books, they just kill you. They wouldn't even have to kill you. They radicalize the youth. They radicalize the useful idiots that they're able to manipulate, and those people kill you for them without them even having to say anything.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Sounds like something that's been happening recently.
Yep.
Just saying.
Yep. Yeah, man. And yeah, this whole idea of, we're living under some type of fascist regime, and it is completely detached from reality, right? But they're the ones who, like I say, they're the ones who really want to be fascist. You want to talk about fascism in America? The biggest threat to freedom in America is the combination of the government and corporate America, right?
Yes.
And it's what the Biden administration was doing through Facebook and Google, because and I remember Joe Biden was meeting with them. He literally said this. He says, y'all can do things the federal government can't do. And he was talking about curtailing quote unquote hate speech.
I did not know he said that. I did not know he said that. Oh, yes, my goodness.
And
wow.
So, and this is what people don't understand. And this is why stuff like ESG was so dangerous, because ESG was a government program that was an incentivized program to meet certain criteria the government wanted you to meet. And if your score wasn't a certain thing, you can actually be debanked, right? You cannot get a contract or things like that, right? And so how do you keep your score up? You do the things the government wants you to do, right? If the government wants you to get rid of hate speech, then how well you do that is going to reflect in your score, right? That is why ESG was so dangerous. That is why what Biden was doing with Facebook and Google was so dangerous, because your First Amendment rights do not apply to private companies and corporations, right? And so the government can't do anything, but the government can tell Facebook to do it, right? And that's what they were doing. And so, and all of these people on the left were completely fine with that. They were fine with the Biden administration having daily and weekly phone calls with people at Twitter and Facebook, right? And calling them up and saying, hey, we saw this, take this one down, take that one down, do it, like suspend this person, kick this person off, right? What's his name? The Hunter Biden laptop story, right? Hey, pipe that down so people don't see it. That type of stuff. That what was going on. And these people were okay with it because their side was doing it, right? And they were shutting down the fascists and the hate speech and the bigots and all of this type of stuff. They were cool with it. That is what we need to realize, that these people do not care about America. They do not care about freedom. They don't care about anything other than left-wing power to push the equitable and just society they believe in. Which means if you don't say the pronouns, you don't get on social media. You know, they want to enforce their ideology on you. And that's really what they want. And the fact that they're losing has made them violent, because it's almost like, okay, we tried it the right way, but the fascists are taking over anyway. And so now we got to turn to violence because they couldn't win the election. And I'm going to tell you right now, 2026 midterms, they're not going to win nothing.
Oh, man. I mean, that
they are in trouble.
Dude.
They are in trouble. Their numbers are in trouble. I'm old enough to remember when the Democrat Party was called the Party of No Ideas. And there was talk of if they would ever win another election. Like, it was bad. And they got a savior. Out of nowhere, this dude named Barack Hussein Obama came out of nowhere and saved them for 2 elections and gave them this new hope, right? And when the Obama juice ran out, they had nothing else left. And so what did they turn to? Orange Man Bad, right? It was just Orange Man Bad. It was nothing about their platform, nothing about their ideas. It was all just, he's Hitler, he's Hitler, he's Hitler. That's it. And they were going to win off demonization. But now that doesn't work anymore. I mean, they tried to put this man in jail. They gave him a mug shot. They gave him 34 felonies. They brought a sexual assault claim against him and tried to bankrupt him. And he still won the election. Like, they're desperate at this point. They really are. And so that is why the rhetoric won't tone down, because they don't have anything else. They still are the party of no ideas, because the ideas they have are so bad, they know no one will accept them, right? The rest of the New York City might vote for the Democratic Socialists. The rest of the country's not.
No,
right?
Absolutely not.
And they know that. That's why they never wanted Bernie Sanders to be the nominee. They knew the rest of the country isn't voting for a Democratic Socialist.
No.
Right? And so, but outside of that, what do they have? What's their policy? What ideas do they have? What? Open borders again?
Right.
Like, they just don't have anything. And so all thing they can do is try to demonize their way back into office.
Sorry. Go ahead.
No, go ahead. I'm just saying it's not working. It's not working.
No, it's not working. You're right. You asked a great question, man. A great question. What are their ideas? Okay. So let's see. Universal health care, right? That was one of Barack Obama's like big pushes. That's one of the things he wanted. He managed to put some, sugarcoat what that was really going to be like, and then they got rammed through. Supreme Court admitted that somehow we found a way to basically force somebody to buy something just for being alive.
I'm still mad at Justice Roberts. I'm still mad at
super
him
pissed.
for
super pissed,
dude. Because this is the thing. I remember that time. The Obama lawyers one day argued it as a fine, $1,000 fine if you don't buy insurance.
Yeah.
The next day in court, they made the same arguments but changed the word to a tax.
Yeah.
And because they changed the wording from fine to tax, that made it legal.
Right.
No, it's still a fine. They are fining you for not purchasing something.
That's right.
And called it a tax.
That's
and
right.
Justice Roberts sided with the left-wing judges on this. And it's like, how? How is this constitutional?
Yeah. He didn't want to have to be the reason I don't think he wanted that smoke. He didn't want the political smoke. You got a lifetime appointment, my guy. I mean, now, granted, maybe he was afraid that the left was going to be violent. That's a legitimate concern because of how they get down. But I think that think about that, right? They called it a tax. Can you imagine how the founding fathers would have taken that? Can you imagine how they would have taken that?
I always say, throw the tea in the ocean.
Bruh.
Let's go. We're finna fight.
I try to tell people, man, there's some stuff that we're taking, laying down that the muskets would have got out for. And I'm not advocating for I'm not advocating for violence, okay? I'm not advocating for violence. I'm saying that we need to stop just accepting something as being okay just because it gets positioned a certain way, right? Yeah. The idea that they can tax you for not buying something is fundamentally anti-American, is un-American, yeah. Anti-freedom. It's anti-freedom. You can take, whenever I say anti-American or un-American, just understand what I'm saying is it's against freedom, because that's what America stands for. Go to China and ask them what America stands for. All the people in Hong Kong who are protesting and waving the American flag, they want freedom. That's what America means, right? And so people are accepting things that the people who founded this country bled and died for us to not have those kinds of things imposed on us. And we shouldn't stand for that stuff. Any elected official should know that if you push something like this, you will get primaried. We will recall you. Yeah. I mean, they need to know that this is, and it needs to become unacceptable again for the government to basically be involved in every aspect of your life. It needs to be unacceptable again. But and this is a crazy thing to me, that the left has gotten to the point now, and left-leaning people have gotten to the point now where not only do they want the government to be involved and to control way more aspects of your life, right? But if you don't go along with what they want, and if you politically advocate against their wishes, this is what you get right here.
Yeah.
This is what you get. It's okay to use violence against you. It's okay to go light your businesses on fire. It's justified.
And we're going to play a clip later on of someone really just saying.
Yeah. Yeah. Basically, you got people who have people who have on camera. We're at a point now where they are on camera and they're not afraid to just say it. I mean, the mask is off. As much as every day since Charlie Kirk died, every day I have thought to myself, I can't believe this is real. Mm-hmm. I cannot believe this young man is dead.
Yeah.
I cannot believe how he died.
And not just that he died. Because like I say, I can do the one nut job thing. Like this dude was one nut job, one bullet. That can happen to anybody. I will never get over the TMZ thing.
No.
I will never get over that.
Again,
The
that's this
TMZ
chart.
newsroom breaking out and cheering applause when they found out he was dead. Oh,
yeah. Yeah. And them trying to play it off. And they knew. Boy, they knew. They was like, oh, we were cooked, man. We're cooked. Caught on camera, live. They knew they were cooked.
Yeah.
You know, so this is what, y'all, this is what Kev and I are talking about. This is what the chart is showing it. Because you see it too much in everyday people. The chart is real. This study is showing what's real. This is where people are at. And this is
not
bad.
French.
This is dangerous.
It's not French, man. It's not on the, the darkest parts of the internet. No, it's in your child's school. It is, your doctor's office. It is regular everyday people who have bought into this because, I got family members that believe all this rhetoric. Jasmine Crockett and Joy Reid can say nothing wrong. Right. And everything they spout out is just gospel. And they believe all of this is fascism. They have no idea what that is, but they just buy the rhetoric. Everyday people. I know there are people I know who are happy Charlie Kirk died. And they didn't know anything about Charlie Kirk before he died. And then they start seeing these memes and these quotes out of context. Like, oh, he was a racist. Yeah. But let's watch this last thing that the Fox News article with the video, and then we can move on to our next topic.
Yes.
Yeah. So yeah, this video is going to just wrap everything up what we've been talking about in terms of left-wing violence. And it's just going to just kind of wrap it up and bring it home. It's a good closeout, and then we can move on to some other things that happened in this week, including Wet the X. We got to get to Wet the X.
Yes. Let's go.
Tide
Oh,
boosted
of course. They're going to play an ad first.
Try Tide.
Well, while that ad plays.
This episode of Informed Takes is sponsored by Tide.
They just got free sponsorship, man. Nah,
Procter
we need to
&
send them
Gamble.
a bill. Send them a bill.
Blank shot 3 times. The killer smiles, and the internet applauds. The murder of United Healthcare CEO Brian Thompson exposed a dangerous shift in societal norms. What was once extreme rhetoric confined to the fringes of the internet has now exploded into murderous action that is being publicly celebrated. But how did this happen? The NCRI has uncovered a growing permission structure that justifies violence through a cycle of amplification and reinforcement. They term it assassination culture, and it's growing on the far left. Social media platforms provide the stage, while viral memes and online communities provide justification. The result? A cultural shift that lowers moral boundaries for targeted violence. Those shouting their approval are no longer fringe extremists. These narratives are spreading on every major platform, while law enforcement investigators assigned to the case have been swarmed with abuse online. Even employees at the McDonald's where Mangione was apprehended have been relentlessly harassed for ratting him out. The lionization of Luigi Mangione, the man arrested for Thompson's murder, has created a wave of copycat threats. On December 17, 2024, a newly hired employee stabbed the company president in a meeting and smiled in his police photo, taking clear inspiration from Mangione's online persona, while other fans have called for the death of Elon Musk and other prominent CEOs. In a survey, the NCRI found that nearly 40% of respondents thought that burning Teslas was at least somewhat acceptable, and over a third said the same about killing Elon Musk. Over 50% of those self-identifying as left of center thought it was at least somewhat justified to kill Donald Trump. These attitudes correlate closely with blue sky use and support for Mangione. For Mangione, supporters have raised over $400,000 online for his legal defense and are actively attempting to sway the jury towards nullification. But why are people supporting Mangione? Research reveals that 3 key factors predict support. authoritarian tendencies, a perceived loss of personal control, and heavy social media use. Survey results show that at least 44% of Americans believe that Thompson's murder was at least somewhat justified, and among heavy social media users, that number is even higher. Blue Sky, the so-called safe space Twitter, has seen the most alarming trends. At least 78% of users express some level of support for the killing. Institutional trust has eroded, and anti-establishment rhetoric is at an all-time high. Hashtags like Eat the Rich saw approximately 400% swings, not only after the assassination carried out by Mangione, but after the attempted assassination of President Trump. The normalization of violence is no longer hypothetical. It's here on our streets and in our homes. The response to Mangione online has been a viral spectacle that tells a romantic but completely false narrative. A public killing is not justice. It is a rejection of the very principles that uphold our civilization. The real question isn't who Mangione is. The real question is who are we?
Yeah, that's the question.
Yes.
And we have found out who we are. And that is what has us like, I can't believe this is real, because the mask has come off.
Yes.
And Charlie Kirk knew this, and he was wearing a vest, you know, but because he knew. And so, yeah, that's what we are, people. And I just want people to just kind of just know that and accept that. That's what we are. The 2008 is gone. You know, arguing over like what is the role of government, what is the proper rate of taxation, those things, that's not what we're dealing with anymore. We're so far past that.
Which is so crazy, man. It's so crazy that that is considered, you know, small potatoes compared to what we're dealing with now. I mean, where we are now, 17 years later, from Barack Obama getting elected, is wild. I mean, I actually, the first time I ever voted was 2012. I'd never voted before that. I used to think as a Christian that being involved in politics was being concerned with the affairs of this world. I thought that the scripture that said that no good soldier that wars concerns himself with the affairs of this life. And so I thought politics is temporal. I need to be 100% focused on evangelism, 100% focused on the gospel, and getting involved in politics, caring about that at all is caring about the affairs of this world. That's where I was in 2008, and I was not very attuned to politics at all at that time. And I remember actually, I remember where I was, like, you know, wasn't married yet, and I had you know, when Barack Obama won the election, I remember my wife and I think she was just my girlfriend back then. Maybe my fiance back then. I remember where we were when we were watching the inauguration, and I was like, wow, like a black man became president, you know. And I saw my friends, because I had been a Christian maybe 4 years at that point. My friends, I saw some of them going back and forth. I saw them going back and forth. Some of them were like, oh, this dude is the future. Like, this dude is the future. You know, and some of them were like, no, this dude is a radical. Like, y'all don't understand. This dude is a radical progressive. And back then, I didn't even know what that word meant. But they're like, you know, this dude is a radical progressive. And you need to understand who he really is and what he really believes, because the stuff that he's saying is not what he really believes. And I remember thinking to myself, like, man, like, you know, we got to be that. We got to be like that. You know, like, dude doesn't seem that bad. You know, that's the way I was thinking. And I was already, my mentality, because I was a Christian, was already shifting to be more conservative just because that's where the Bible kind of required me to be. But I still wasn't like, I didn't realize that the two sides at that moment had become so different. And that's why I think that Barack Obama being elected, it was a turning point that I don't think that people realized that they had signed up for, because I don't think that they understood who they elected.
No, they didn't.
Yeah.
They didn't. Once again, people buy rhetoric and they don't look at facts. And then you look at the facts of who Obama was, you would have knew that he was a far left progressive, right? His pastor's sermons, right?
Yeah.
They'll talk about Christian nationalism. They'll be all up in arms. Jeremiah Wright's sermons were so radical and so racist. And it was like, Obama sat under him for 20 years.
Yep.
That's been his pastor for the last 20 years. And you mean tell me that doesn't bother you?
Right.
Right.
Only distanced himself when people started uncovering this dude.
Yeah.
That's
and for those who don't know, he was a black liberation preacher. So
that's right.
Barack Obama voluntarily went to that church, voluntarily, sat under that preaching for 20 years in his black liberation theology. Is what it was. Yeah. And so that's what he brought to the White House. And so it was a turning point. And as we have said many times, without Obama, you don't get Trump.
That's exactly
right. If you don't understand why Trump got in office, if you don't understand Obama, I should say, you won't understand why Trump got in office. And no, the answer isn't racism.
Thank you. I was about to say that. It is not because he was black. It was because he was a radical progressive, and he hid it very well. But once he got in office, the mask continually came further and further and further off till in his second term. Like the first time I voted was when he was up for re-election, when he was up against Mitt Romney. And I voted for Romney. And I remember that's the first time I ever voted, and I thought to myself, after 4 years of Obama, and me being a Christian and seeing that Obama didn't really respect Christian principles. As a matter of fact, he actively opposed them. And I'm thinking to myself, like, okay, like this dude is pretty hard left, pretty progressive. And America's going to reset itself. And I remember being absolutely shocked. I was absolutely shocked that Romney didn't win, because I was sure that I was like, oh, dude, like America ain't gonna go for this again. Like they definitely elected Romney. And when Obama won twice, I was like, what's happening?
Yeah,
what's going on?
And I just go back to those times, man. Remember, they called John McCain a racist. They called Mitt Romney the nice guys.
Y'all
they were the nice guys. I'm just saying, but you can disagree with them on policy, but they were nice guys.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
And yet they were demonized.
Right.
And called racist and everything else. They did the same thing to Charlie Kirk. Charlie Kirk was the nice guy.
Yeah.
He really was the nice guy.
He was. He was.
And they just demonized him to the point where, somebody thought that they had to kill him. Yeah. And so it's like, be careful what you do to the nice guys.
That's right.
Because those who come behind them might not be so nice.
That's right. That's exactly right. And I've been seeing them talk ever since, Charlie died. And some of them said, oh, right, we tried the nice, good Christian boy approach. Now it's my turn. And I'm like, y'all, listen, we don't want what comes on the other side when people feel like the discourse, when talking things out, you don't want what comes on the other side when people decide, okay, I'm done talking. You don't want that.
Yeah.
I don't want
and
that.
And this is the thing. I know there are foreign actors who want that.
Oh, absolutely.
There are foreign actors who want to see us torn apart.
100%.
And even though I know that, I still can't deny the reality of where we are.
That's right.
We really aren't together.
No.
And so, yeah. So speaking of Charlie, man, let's move on. My good buddy Henry Morris, man, made a really good video. Henry is a really talented guy behind the camera, and he was at the memorial service. And so him and his wife made a video about their experience at the Charlie Kirk Memorial, and I thought it would be pretty cool to play it.
Okay.
I was like, did he take it down?
Hope not. Give me a second. Let's see if I can get this.
But no,
up.
Henry's a good guy of mine. He actually worked for Turning Point USA. He has an organization that goes around and supports fallen law enforcement officers and their families. He honors them, and I forgot what it's called. It's the name of his YouTube channel as well. It's Support Our Shield or something like that. And so, yeah, really good dude.
A lot to recap, babe. Today was a very emotional day,
Yes.
but a very amazing day.
Yes.
And
Historical day.
Historical day, but for this weekend has definitely not been typical for us. So what are your thoughts, ladies first, about Charlie Kirk's memorial that we were blessed to attend in person?
That was one of my first thoughts, is that we were blessed to attend. My thought was that it was wonderful and hope-filled and positive, and it was emotional, but we got to see 100,000 plus people coming together, and people that love this country, that love God, and that lifted my spirits after everything that's happened. We got to see the entire leadership of our government stand up before all of these people and profess their love for God and their love for Charlie. And I thought that was amazing. You said, I don't think we'll ever see that in our lifetime again.
Yeah.
Probably not. But I was impressed with Vice President Vance saying that he has been a person of faith, but that he's never talked about that faith as openly as he had the past 2 weeks. And that is the Charlie effect. I feel like I have been emboldened by his life to not stay silent and to not care what people think about me not saying silent. And I think that's what VP Vance was saying, and I think that's what a lot of them felt when they stood up on that stage tonight. And I think that that's an amazing part of his legacy. Erica continued to impress me with her strength, because I think if that was me, I would have just stood up there and cried the entire time. The entire time. Like, I don't think I would have been able to get a word out. I cried most of the time that she was speaking.
You did.
But she has just constantly been in my thoughts since this happened. Her and the babies, and they're so young, and how devastating it must be. And I just, seeing her stand up there today made my heart continue to go out for her, but made me feel better in that she is still strong in her faith, and was able to be strong enough to profess forgiveness for his assassin, I thought was a message that she was sending to all of us. You know, don't use your anger, don't allow your anger to turn into hate. That is not what God wants from us, and that is not what Charlie would have wanted. So I thought that was powerful. And I looked around today at, you know, like I said, there was more than 100,000 people. And I don't think that there was a lot of problems today. There was plenty of security, there was plenty of police and Secret Service and things, of course. But we didn't see people fight, even though it was crowded and there was lines and a lot of walking and a lot of waiting. We didn't really see
difficulties
people
getting in and out.
Yeah, we didn't see people fighting and arguing and things like that. As soon as we walked into the stadium, filled with songs of praise, and it was truly amazing, truly amazing. So I wear my little badge to commemorate this day because it touched me. It really did, and I think Charlie would have loved that.
Nothing that we had planned about this trip has gone as planned, and so. That she has on the clothes that she flew here with 24 hours ago. And I was so frustrated last night, and I text April, I don't even think that we're gonna make it. We can't get Chris any clothes, and they're saying the time that we have to be there is just not feasible. So seeing people as we're starting to walk up, because we can't get any closer to the stadium because there are so many people. And we like to shout out our big brother, Vince Ellison, because he was the one that got us the access, the VIP access.
People started lining up at like
4
4
o'clock
a.m.
this morning. Yeah, and so
the service didn't start until 11 a.m.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So imagine
4
that,
a.m.
like
dude.
we said, Super Bowl. That's what this experience was like, and then to bring it more on a personal level. For me, it was watching. This was a week ago, last Sunday, as our pastor talked about Charlie's faith and what in his assassination and our biblical responsibility, holding you and feeling your tears hit my arm in our church. And then fast forward to a week later, we're here in a stadium, like we said, where they can only hold 70,000 inside. And the emotions that not only you were going through, but all of our brothers and sisters in Christ that were there, because we knew what Charlie's faith meant and what his sacrifice meant. And for us as a couple, I think it was the second best gift that you've ever given me. Number one, of course, your hand in marriage, but number two was 3 years ago, you were responsible for sending me to my first TPUSA event for my birthday. And so when we have seen family and friends attack this man and attack these people that they've never met, yet the past 3 years, we've seen them open their arms up to us. You, almost a year ago to this day, attended your first event, which was the Believer Summit, and literally you had people telling you things, but you were in the auditorium live for the speech. And because you wouldn't back down, the hate that you've received and watching it strengthen you. We meet special people at every TPUSA event that we attend. Mm-hmm. What was special today was this was like a family reunion for us. We were all heartbroken because of the loss of Charlie, but these are family that we have met, especially with the TPUSA faith side and Blexit. We were all encouraging each other that we know what we have to do. Yes. We know what Charlie would want us to do, yes, and that we're going to do it. It brought it all full circle. And in our section, of course, we didn't know anyone there, but I mean, you sit with these people for over 4 hours, and you're, embracing people and
Crying and
yes,
singing together
yes,
and praising God
and laughing
together.
at some of
Yes.
the off-color things that are, especially Don Jr. imitating his dad, and that's been a microcosm of what we've seen since 2022. And all of the Turning Point USA events that we've done. And this is why we have been committed to connecting our pastor with it and connecting April and the Chapmans with it. And now she's getting her children involved with TP USA Youth. It's because this is a movement that is something we've never seen before in our personal lives. And we've seen, in our lifetime, and we've seen the compromise in the churches that we grew up in. We've seen it front and center, and we've decided not to stay quiet about it anymore. And when you do that, you get attacked, as we've seen personally. But that's small compared to this man giving his life and leaving behind a wife and 2 children because he refused to back down. And so when we compare that, we're like, you know what, this is the least that we can do.
Yes. I think that I'm glad that you brought up us being around the TP USA family for quite some time now, because people have come to me with all of these claims about Charlie, people that don't know him,
right?
People that are taking a soundbite and deciding that they know about his character.
Yeah.
And I have not let that waver me at all, because I know, because we have been around it.
Yes.
We have seen it. And today we got to listen to Erica, for a second. So live and in person, I listened to the whole speech.
Yeah.
I listened to her emotion, her tone, her context. So when people say to me that she is, she's going to continue a legacy of hate, I was like, these are people that are brainwashed and blind.
Yes.
There was no hate in her speech whatsoever. None. She talked about how she forgave his assassin. She talked about how she wanted us not to meet hate with hate. And she talked about how we should how we should raise our children.
Yes. The importance of marriage.
Yes.
The importance of family.
Importance
and
of
the
marriage,
importance
importance of marriage. And, both of them continued with their words and with their life to point people to Christ.
Correct.
And that's what we're supposed to do, right? But Christ not only was full of love, but he was full of correction.
Yes.
And we don't want to see that.
Yeah.
That is our problem. We don't want to see the correction part. We like the love part.
Yes.
But we don't want to see the correction part. But that is the only way that you can be better.
Yes.
It's the only way. And I always try to liken to people, most people that I talk to are parents. And so I'm like, you love your children, but when you see your children doing something wrong, you correct them. You don't just go along with it because you love them, right? That's what a parent does, and that's what Christ does for us. But when Charlie pointed things out to us, that meant that he was racist. And he was actually the exact opposite. He expected the same thing from each person he met. He didn't care if you were black or white or
male, female.
Yeah, didn't care. He expected the same thing out of you, and he wanted you to give Christ your best. That's all. That's all he wanted. So, and if that's a problem for you, then that's your problem.
Yeah.
That's not a problem with him. So, I thought that it was just an amazing experience in spite of all of the issues that we had.
And issues.
Yeah, it's been a rough
And we can
trip,
stop it.
but I feel like totally blessed.
Yeah, we got the heart of it. They still had to fly out, and they still didn't have her bag. So her bags got lost in the flight, and so she didn't have any clothes or anything.
Man.
So that's what they were talking about at the beginning of the video. And they had to fly home and still didn't have her bag. And so,
oh my gosh.
Yeah, it was an experience. And yes, Krista, he sent me a text and told me that he ran into y'all and he was so excited. So Henry's a really good dude. He did an interview with me. It's been over a year. Definitely over a year, maybe 2. And he's like, yeah, I'm gonna go home, I'm gonna edit the footage, and then I'll put it out and I'll let you know. That interview has never seen the light of day. I think he's waiting for like me to pass away. He's gonna like drop like the unseen footage or something.
Yeah, never before seen footage of Kevin.
Yeah, never
Briggins.
before seen footage. Yeah.
he gonna scoop you right after you pass. Oh my gosh, man. Oh my gosh. That's amazing. Man.
Yeah, but no.
Dude, that's awesome.
Yeah. And
he
sent me that video. Yeah, he sent me that video and I was like, okay, this is good. And so I thought it'd be good for people to see kind of behind the scenes. And then just hear their perspective. Number one, as someone who's been involved with TPUSA for 3 years, but also someone who's Black, right? And to deal with these allegations that Charlie and TPUSA was racist and all this type of stuff. No, it couldn't have been further from the truth. So,
right.
Yeah.
So somebody was asking for the YouTube channel is Support Our Shields, right?
Yeah, Support Our Shields.
There we go.
Yeah. And so, yeah. And you can find Henry Hollywood Morris on Facebook, X, all of those normal places. Yeah, good dude.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
That's awesome. So we as we kind of come to the bottom of the show, we still got to talk about what's going out here in these streets. On
X streets.
Let's go.
Woo!
What the X?
What the X, man. X is wild. We early.
We
It's
early.
up there now.
Yeah.
It's up there now.
Yeah.
Hey, this is going to be our book of the month. So this is Vadi Bakum. He passed away today. And so I wanted to promote his book, Fault Lines. Vadi was one of the early Christian voices out there speaking against critical race theory and wokeness. And he wrote this book about this issue is going to be a fault line within the church. And he took a lot of heat and a lot of criticism.
Yes, he did.
For no reason.
That's
because everything he said in here was right and accurate. But the winsome crowd, you can't tell them anything. And so but Vodi, he put this book out. I signed up to be on the launch team. Was in the early Facebook group, and you get the early copy of it and you read it and you write reviews and promote it. And I just wanted to help people get the word out about this book, because at the time this was the book on the issue. And so shout out to Vadi Bakum, rest in peace. Job well done. A life well served. I mean, he poured his life out. So
yeah, man.
Wanted to honor that.
Amen.
Yeah,
man. That I've got the book on the shelf. I bought it, and I still hadn't spent the time to read it, because I'm terrible. But most of the time, I listen to audiobooks now, and I never got the audiobook. I bought the physical book, and so.
Devin, man, it's okay, man. It's okay if you can't read, man. It's okay.
I can't, man.
Nothing to be ashamed of.
I draw, man. I don't read. Man. What did McBain say? McBain, the Schwarzenegger character on The Simpsons, he said, "I was born to lead, not to read." They were making fun of Arnold Schwarzenegger being the governor, and McBain became president, and they put the presidential briefing on his desk. He's like, "I was born to lead, not to read." Man,
that's right. Oh man, but this right here, if you guys don't know who Destiny is a far left progressive YouTuber, streamer, and he's just unhinged, man. Something's wrong with him. I'm just gonna be honest. Something is wrong with him. But this is something he put out.
He's acting like Charlie had it coming. If you wanted Charlie Kirk to be alive, Donald Trump shouldn't have been president for the second term. You need conservatives to be afraid of getting killed when they go to events so that they look to their leadership to turn down the temperature. The issue is right now, they don't feel like there's any fear.
That guy's name's Destiny, and he just learned his fate. He's fired and banned from making any more money on his site. You need conservatives to be afraid of getting killed when you go to events? CNN is defending this guy. He's acting like Charlie had it coming.
Yeah. So that's basically the definition of terrorism.
That's right.
Right? To call using fear to and violence to promote a political change. That is the definition of terrorism. And that's just basically he said we need it. Right?
Yeah.
And think about how delusional he is that conservatives need to tone it down. Like,
right.
Tone what down?
Right.
What are conservatives doing that is ratcheting up? It's like, how dare you talk about your policies that we don't like?
Right. He
Like,
said that. See, this is maddening. This is maddening because he's saying this in the context of the guy who said that we should talk so we don't come to civil war. He's saying that in the context of the guy that got shot while he was trying to use his words.
Yeah. And he literally said, if we wanted Charlie Kirk to be alive, then Trump shouldn't have been president for a second term.
Those are the words of a terrorist.
Like, it's justified because Trump's president.
That's terrorism. That's like, oh man, that's a nice conservative friend you got over there. Be ashamed if something happened to him.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
That's a nice political commentator you got there. There's a nice public speaker you got there. Be ashamed if something was to happen to him.
Yeah.
You know?
Millions of followers, right? Millions of followers. And that's the kind of stuff we're dealing with.
Yeah.
But they want to talk about fascism.
Right. We're the fascists. We're the fascists. You know what I'm saying? Yes,
Yeah.
Tammy, it is sick.
Yeah.
I'm with you, Katie. Holy crap. Yeah, I mean, I
forgot. So at the Trump rally, when Trump got shot in the ear and that guy behind him got killed, Destiny cheered it and laughed and said that guy got what he deserved. Yeah. Yeah. He said, basically, if you're at a Trump rally, then I know what kind of person you are. Therefore, you got what you deserve. Yeah. He said that about that dude that died protecting his family. Just at a political rally, expressing his right, you know. Yeah. Yeah. That dude is.
Man.
That's what we are. That's where we are, people. That is where we are.
Wow.
And like I say, I'm okay saying it because I know it's not French. I know I'm not picking out something and making it a bigger deal than it is. Like, no, this is the left. This is the political left. This is what we're dealing with. And when I say the left, I'm not talking about liberals. I'm not talking about Bill Maher. I'm not talking about Anna Kasparian.
Right.
I'm not talking about people who are just liberals. I'm talking about leftists. Right? The people who hold to this radical ideology that make up so much of the political left today, because a lot of those liberals who used to be on the left, when the left moves so far to the left, those who were once in the left are now on the right.
Right.
You know, Bill Maher is called a bigot. And that dude is as liberal as you can get.
Right.
You know?
Right.
But he's called a bigot because he's not a leftist. He's called a bigot because he doesn't believe in trans ideology, right? And so, yeah, it's like I said, that's what I was trying to explain to people on Facebook this week. The whole left-right paradigm, conservative, liberal paradigm, that is gone. That is not the political climate we are in today.
Thank you.
Like,
Thank
we
you.
are not arguing over, like I say, tax rates.
No.
And no, these people, we are dealing with those who believe in America, believe in American values and principles, and those who don't, and those who want to tear it down.
Right.
Those who believe in order and those who believe in chaos and anarchy.
Yes.
That is it. You know,
that's the dichotomy now. That's the
dichotomy.
And I think that people people now find themselves, and like we said, we saw the videos that came out after Charlie Kirk's death of people saying like, yo, I'm not that. Like, I'm not voting for Democrats anymore because they know that the Democrats, the language that they were using and calling people fascists and saying that they were the second coming of Hitler and all of that stuff, and saying they're a threat to democracy. Those people who have some sense, by God's common grace, have some sense, they saw that and they said, I cannot vote for that ever again.
Oh, and remember when Trump was missing for like 2 days, Labor Day weekend, and he just kind of went silent for a couple of days because it's Labor Day weekend. Trump's dead. And and Tim Walz made that comment at that rally, like said he had hoped to wake up to some news.
Yes.
Right.
Yes.
That's the governor of Minnesota saying that he was hoping to wake up to that the president was dead.
Amen.
That is where we are. This isn't fringe.
Thank you. So I'll say it one more time for the folks in the back. This is not fringe. This is normal over there.
This
is
Democrats. And it's not every Democrat, but it's the Democrat Party. The agenda and the people with the money who push and who lead the Democrat Party, this is them.
Yes. When you have the elected officials, when you even have the elected officials making comments like that, it's not fringe at that point. That dude was Kamala Harris's running mate. This is not fringe. It is by definition at that point not fringe. For him to do that, and the party said not a dang thing to him. There was no public repudiation of what he said. No public repudiation from the party whatsoever of what Tim Walz said. Nobody's coming and slapping Jasmine Crockett on the wrist for saying that this is the Hitler playbook. Nobody's slapping her on the wrist for that, even though people getting shot out here and a man lost his life. Nobody's slapping him on the wrist. It's normal over there. It's not fringe. It's normal.
Yeah. And we didn't even talk about the two Israeli ambassadors that got killed in D.C.
Right.
They got gunned down. Like, these are targeted assassinations.
And just to be clear,
done by the political left.
And the dude yelled "Free Palestine" after that. Free Palestine while he was getting dragged off in cuffs. And
same ideology. The same people who cheered October 7th cheered Charlie Kirk's death. It's the same ideology.
Same folks. Same folk.
Yeah.
I think it's actually more people. There were more people cheering Charlie Kirk's death than there were cheering October 7th.
It's because most people aren't tracking Israel-Gaza as they are domestic politics. But yeah, same ideology though.
And you know what's crazy though? October 7th was heinous. Like, that is one of the ugliest, most brutal massacres I have ever seen in my entire life. It is the ugliest thing the ugliest massacre I've ever seen in my entire life. And to hear the things that they did to people, to civilians, the things that they did to them, gleefully, the fact that they took hostages. I mean, basically we're keeping them as slaves, putting them in people's houses.
The fact they wore GoPros and had cell phones and made videos of the stuff they was proud of it and posted those videos.
Posted the videos, right? The fact that when those guys drove their trucks back into Gaza, they were welcomed by cheering crowds on the streets.
Yes.
Right?
Yes.
Note that you never saw a bunch of progressives out in the street talking about free Palestine until after October 7th. The people who tell us that we're always victim blaming, they were cutting off women's body parts, because I'm trying to be PG here.
Yeah.
Cutting off women's body parts and tossing them to each other. And playing with them like they were footballs.
I'm gonna put it like this, y'all. Y'all know what I did in my previous life. You have not seen brutality until you have seen these Islamic jihadist groups and what they're capable of. It is the most barbaric thing I've ever seen. They treat human beings like they're cattle. they treat human beings like they're just, it is so bad and so brutal. Some stuff I'll never just unsee. And just wonder how can a human being do that to another human being and laugh at it and laugh and cheer while they're doing it. Yeah, like it's just crazy. It's crazy. And so I say that to say, when you see what the political left is today, when you see what the leftists are and you see them cheering, understand that is how the revolution happened. That is how people get bullets in the back of their head, right? They are so disillusioned as to this evil and this bigotry and this hate speech that they believe that level of violence is justified against you.
Right.
This is how we get there.
Yeah.
So do not just be aware of where we are, is all I'm saying.
Yeah.
These people are they just don't have the numbers. If they had the numbers, we'd be in trouble. But they don't have the numbers.
Right.
But those are the radicals.
Yeah. And that is scary, man. That is scary. The thing that I consider that if they had the numbers, would they just try to have a coup? Would they just try to overthrow?
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely they would. Absolutely they would.
Yeah. That's wild. It's wild to consider that America is like that. Matt said something earlier that I think was poignant. He said that we're now experiencing in America what people in other countries, and certain other countries around the world experience every day. The political climate that we have now, where people are getting shot and other people are celebrating it, and something happens across the world, and because it lines up with your political ideology, instead of condemning a heinous massacre, you're rooting for that side, unapologetically.
Because this is the thing, and this to help people understand the ideology. Right and wrong is no longer objective. We're not dealing with a Christian worldview where right and wrong is wrong to murder someone. In this ideology, right and wrong is determined by power. So if the oppressed does these things, the quote unquote oppressed does these things to the oppressor, then they're justified. That's why October 7th was cheered. That's why Charlie Kirk's murder was cheered. That's why the healthcare CEO murder was cheered, right?
Correct.
These are considered to be the people of power and privilege. And so right and wrong is determined by if you're in power or not.
Yeah.
So as long as you understand that, you'll understand why these people are cheering and happy and all this type of stuff, because right and wrong isn't objective.
Right.
It is subjective to whether or not you have power or you don't. And if you're determined to not be someone that has power, then you are justified in your acts of violence as an act of liberation. And that's it.
Yeah. And that should scare the crap out of you. It should.
Yeah.
People should understand, you got to, if you're on that side, I'll say what Eric Erickson said. Hey, look, we know on the right that we got some problems, okay? We know we have some problems.
Because we're about to talk about one.
Right. Amen. That's exactly right. That's a great segue. We know we got problems. We deal with our problems. We call them out. We're about to show you. We call them out. Y'all need to police your own side. For once, police your own side. Don't be talking to us. Don't be talking to us. Don't be both sides in this. Police your own daggum side, or recognize that you're complicit. If you think it's cool, if your whole thing is like, well, Trump's Trump, so, or y'all want guns, y'all want the Second Amendment, so.
No, I'm gonna pull one. I'm gonna pull one of their cards. Your silence is violence.
Oh snap! Play by your own rules, people. Go. Play by your own. Y'all. We're gonna pull a Saul Alinsky on them. Make them play by their own rules, huh? Yeah. Y'all silence is deafening. So
I will say, before you jump in there, I will say for my Minnesota people, go out and vote for my boy Kendall Qualls. Kendall's a great friend of mine. He's a really good guy, true conservative, veteran, and yeah, he served the state well. But he needs to get that Republican nomination, and he needs to win the general election. So Kendall Qualls, I know y'all have heard of him. He's ran before. Go support Kendall.
Yeah. If you're out in Minnesota, vote for change. Hey, and speaking of which, before anybody accuses us of not bringing up the Democratic lawmakers who were killed in Minnesota, please understand, nobody on the right was cheering for that. If you find them, you can send them to me. But you didn't see a single prominent Republican. You didn't see normal people, normal Republicans, normal conservatives, normal Christian conservatives. Nobody was celebrating that mess.
Nope.
You didn't see that.
And that's the thing. There's nothing in conservative. No one was demonizing that woman and her husband that led this guy to do this.
Correct.
This is really just a nut job, right? Who said that Tim Walz told him to do this? Like this dude is just completely nuts.
Right.
And so it was sad. Everybody in Congress voted on the amendment to honor them. No one opposed it, like they did Charlie Kirk, like the Democrats did with Charlie Kirk.
Yes.
Everybody was on one accord, condemning political violence. There was no rhetoric that led to this event. It was completely random, and it was some nut job who said Tim Walz told him to do it. Like, so
crazy.
Yeah, it's just not the same.
Yeah, thank you. Appreciate that.
Yeah.
So, man, listen, I'm gonna say as we take a look at this next video, you have a level of patience with this that quite frankly that I don't have.
Okay, I'll put it like this. I slept on it. So I saw it the day before, and I was supposed to make the video, and I didn't make it. I went to bed. I woke up early the next morning, made the video. I had calmed down a little bit from my initial reaction. So, and this is what I'll say too. Being in ministry leadership in a church, being in an eldership role, and working for a ministry like Center for Biblical Unity, as I told somebody one time, there are times when I know how I want to respond is not the right way to respond. So just because I'm responding a certain way doesn't mean that I don't feel differently at times, right? I just know what is right. And you do what is right. And right is not determined by your feelings, right? And so, and when you're trying to be an example and when you're trying to lead others, you have to do what is right. And you can't be led and driven by your emotions. So even though I felt some type of way and you want to just clap back and I chose not to, and it actually worked out because the guys in this video appreciated my response, followed me on X, shared my video, my critique of them, and there's a possibility that I'm going to fly out. These guys are in Utah. It's a possibility I'm going to fly out to Utah and do their podcast and have a broader conversation about this because this was just a bad take.
Yeah. So let's take a look at this. So I want to read off real quick what Eric Kahn said.
He's the guy. He's one of the guys in the video. So yeah, he shared the video.
Yeah. So so Eric Kahn is one of the guys that we would definitely consider on what we call the woke right. He is he's got some takes. He's got some opinions about I'd say at the very least about black people that are clearly not right. Maybe even just everybody who's not white. But Kevin had such a grace-filled response to these guys, and this is a testament to the Spirit of God living on the inside of him. Because when I saw the original video, Man, that's the video that I'm about to play for you that Kevin made is not what I would have said, at least not at first. I pray that the same Spirit of God would have gotten control of my mouth. But here's Kevin's video here. And we'll play a little bit of this, right? Like if y'all want to watch the whole video.
Yeah, you don't have to play
it.
my whole response. Yeah, please don't.
But yeah, y'all should go watch this. As a matter of fact, I will put the this link in the chat if you want to go see the whole thing. But let's take a look at some of this.
There's a video going around from New Christendom Press. It is discussing church membership and Black culture. Here's the clip.
Let's say that somebody was coming into our church and they're Black, and would they be eligible for membership in our church? Yes, they of course they would. They'd be eligible for membership in our church. But would they be permitted to participate in, embody, and practice what I would call Black culture generally in our church? The answer is absolutely not. Why? Because the characteristics that mark Black culture as a generalization, in the same way Paul's talking about Cretans on Crete, they are evil, murderous, violent, bestial people. They steal, they kill, they destroy. They are sinful to the core. They have besetting sins that are like fatherlessness, sexual immorality. They molest children at a high rate. All of any criminal statistic that you could look at, almost pretty much without exception, they excel at them. Black culture.
And it's even interesting. I mentioned it before, but like the Black guy on TikTok, he was saying, he's like, y'all crazy. Like you're talking about this person like it's mental health. He said, that ain't no mental health. That's a demon.
Yeah.
So, I mean, a lot of people are seeing that. Like this behavior is demonic. To walk up to a white girl,
but yeah,
and to cut her throat because she's white, and be like, yeah, we got that white girl.
We got that white girl. And when you think about it, you look at that culture and you say, what are the besetting sins and characteristics of it? And then you say, could somebody come in a lawful church membership embodying that culture? No, they have to self-consciously repudiate that culture.
That's a strong take. We're seeing a lot of this recently where people are being more emboldened to kind of give their thoughts on issues of race and culture. While I applaud them for kind of trying to do that, I think there are some misconceptions here that need to be cleared up. Church membership is no different for anyone, no matter what context you come from. I mean, if someone is practicing sin, you confront them on that sin. No one would be expected to practice something that was not in line with God's word, no matter whether they were white, Black, no matter what culture you come from. There's always a conformity, not to white culture, Black culture, but to biblical faithfulness, right? To righteousness. The idea that a Black person would be coming to a predominantly white Reformed church from the particular culture in which he described, is the chances of that is zero. So I did reach out to them. I commented on X, and I told them I would be willing to come on and have this conversation with them. And we had a short kind of back and forth. He asked me to clarify what my issues were. And the things they described are elements of a particular part of Black culture. And so when we talk about elements of Black culture, the example I gave them would be J.D. Vance's book, Hillbilly Elegy, which describes J.D. Vance's upbringing in rural Ohio and kind of Appalachia, crime, the brokenness, the drug use, the abuse, all of those things, all of those pathologies that exist within Black culture. Imagine if we took that culture and called it white culture and viewed white people through a lens of that brokenness, right? Yes, those elements exist within Black culture, but they do not define all Black people, because all Black people do not hold to that culture. And as a matter of... Yeah. And so my issue with it, because they're quoting Virgil Walker's article about, his critique of Black culture. There's a difference in critiquing an element of Black culture and then doing what he did and basically saying Black people are murderers, they're thieves, they're liars, they're this. Like that is description of Black people, right? He wasn't trying to define a particular culture. He was defining a particular people that he was assigning to that culture, right? And so you can talk about that element of Black culture and understand that the vast majority of Black people don't hold to that culture, right? But he painted this picture as if that culture defines black people, right? You know, they are this, they are that. They like, no, man, you missed it. You missed it. I know you're trying to do what Paul was doing and with the Cretans and stuff. Stop. You know, just stop. That's not where we are. You know, and so he was combining things, right? He's like, you don't understand the black community, you don't understand black culture, you know, because then, you know, okay, Vadi Bakum passes away today, and he's putting out a post honoring Vadi. It's like, but is he murderous? Is he like, yeah, you can't take that and say this is black people.
Right.
You know, like, no, that element exists, that culture exists. Nobody's denying that. But you can't take that culture and slap it and say this is black people. Right? Because that's me and
right.
you. That would be me and you. And it's like, man, nah, so I reached out to Virgil Walker, and if they are willing, we are willing to go up to Utah, go in studio with them and have this conversation on their podcast. We'll see if he replies. I put the offer out there and he hasn't responded, so we'll see.
Yeah, man, I think that would be pretty awesome if you did that. Very much in the spirit of what Charlie would have done, for sure. I mean, so much so. I mean, he invited Van Jones on the show day before he died. You know.
Yeah. Because we know we disagree with these guys on some things. They've kind of got like an ethnocentric, you know, Christian nationalism type of bent to them that I think that if we sat down and talked, that I could from the scripture show them they're wrong, right? And from history show them they're wrong and show them how they're allowing their pride, their ethnic pride, to get in the way of what God has called them to, you know?
Yeah.
And so, yeah, and not to go down that road, but I was thinking about this today. I'm like, if you're white and you want an ethno state, you got to go back to Europe. I'm sorry. If that's what your heart and desire is, you got to go find where your ancestral roots are, and you got to go there. Are you German? Are you Irish? Are you British? And that's where you got to go and form your ethno state. America's too late for that.
Right. Yeah. Man. So
and how you want to form an ethno state in a land that you're not ethnically natural to? You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Like
that's the other piece of this whole thing that I think is weird. I think is very weird. Is this? Yeah. Like. It's not like it's not like this was like y'all were like native here or whatever. It's like which I mean you can question whether, you know, many people are native anywhere. But in any case, it is.
No, there's an element of people group that are native to a particular place over like Europe. Right, you were native to Europe. Like you didn't come from Africa. Right, there are places we know, right, that you are technically native of.
Right,
you know,
like you want that, you can go back there. Them folk probably aren't gonna they're not gonna agree with you. I mean, whatever country you go back to, they're probably not gonna agree with you, even to a fault, to a certain extent, because they got a little problem there. But
Japan's a great example.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. I mean, so I will say that you're being gracious. I'd say even maybe a little more than gracious, because I've seen some of the things these guys have said on X.
I know.
Oh
I
man.
know.
And so I'm like,
but at the same time,
challenge for these cats.
At the same time, is open up an opportunity to have a conversation.
Yeah, and I respect that. I respect the heck out of that.
And I could go up there and do it, but I was like, you know what? I think it would be really good if Virgil was part of that conversation, because I know they respect Virgil. And so he was like, yeah, man, I'm down for whatever. So If they're down for it, we're down for it. And if they're not down for it, that's going to be very telling.
Indeed. Yes.
Yeah.
Yes, it would be. That would definitely show that it's like, hey, we're not really, they claim that they have biblical grounds for their positions. Let's have a conversation with it on biblical grounds. And if you're not willing to do that,
because when it comes to the word of God, me and Virgil can throw hands.
That's right.
We can throw hands.
Certified. Them hands are certified. They registered. Oh man, I'm proud of you, man. I'm proud of you. That let's see, what's that video clocking at right now? Let me see where that video's at. How many views does this thing have?
I don't know, because on X or YouTube? Are you on X?
So on X,
on YouTube, on YouTube it didn't get posted until today.
On
most
X,
of it's on X.
You're at 106.2 on X.
That's crazy.
Yeah,
that's
man.
crazy.
106.2 thousand. Man, that's awesome, man. And Verge right at the top there. You got the pat on the back from old Verge, man. Yeah, man. So that's awesome. I'm proud of you, man. Man, y'all have an event. Center for Biblical Unity has an event coming up here.
We do.
Yeah. Want to talk about that a little bit?
Yeah. So we're doing our first national conference. It's going to be in Birmingham, Alabama, in conjunction with Birmingham Theological Seminary, and it is a conference on biblical justice in society. And myself, Monique, Krista, Alton Hardy, we're going to all be speakers. Katie and Matt going to be there, and so going to get to meet Katie and Matt in person for the first time, and some others. And so, we're really looking forward to it. So this is just a short promo. The link will be in the chat so that people can sign up and register. But yeah, it's going to be a good time. It's going to be a really good time, and we're really looking forward to it. Because this is some things that need to be talked about in our society from a biblical worldview, none of that woke stuff. And so, and then is that Alton's church, Urban Hope. And so their church is in an inner city context, and they're doing a lot of great work. And so part of coming to the conference is not just theoretical. We're going to show you on the real groundwork what it looks like. And so, we're really excited about this.
Yeah, man, that's awesome, man. I'm pumped for y'all doing this. Love the work that y'all do. Let's take a look.
The world is hurting. Poverty, division, injustice, and despair surround us. But there's hope. God's word offers timeless solutions for justice and healing. Join us on October 23rd through the 25th in Fairfield, Alabama for the Biblical Views on Justice and Society Conference. This transformative 3-day event explores how Scripture addresses today's challenges with clarity and compassion. Hear from thought leaders like Monique Duson, Kevin Briggins, Alton Hardy, and Krista Bontrager as they unpack biblical principles for justice and practical steps for your community. Together, let's discover God's plan. Yeah, so there we go. So that's our conference, and we're really excited about it. And hope to see y'all there.
Yeah, man, that's awesome. Man, so we already talked about Book of the Month.
Yeah, we did.
Fault lines. I'm actually. See, the hard thing is that I can say I'm gonna read it now, but I have a ton of studying to do because I am. I actually am training to become a deacon, at my church, and we have a pretty rigorous process to become a deacon at our church. So I got a lot of work to do. So I don't think
I can tell you're not Baptist. Baptists were like, hey, you want to be a deacon? All right, good. You're a deacon. All right.
Yeah, no, it is definitely not that. In a Presbyterian church, there is training. There's an examination. You got to go before the session. You got to get voted on by the congregation.
That's why I'm not Presbyterian. Man, the deacons, man, they was like, the apostles like, hey, choose 7 dudes to go out and make sure the widows get fed. All right. They didn't have to do no theological test, man. Go serve the widows. You're not preaching.
The
PCA is so extra. The PCA is so extra. But I love y'all though. I love y'all because y'all keep it. You put guardrails around your doctrine and you protect it. So I appreciate y'all.
We do. I came out of a charismatic context where there was guardrails were not there, and man, I honestly, I didn't like be like, oh, I'm looking at like all the reform, kind of strands and picking Presbyterianism. My mentor's he's a Presbyterian, and he brought me into Reformed Church, and I will say that I do have some disagreements with some aspects of Presbyterian theology. You and I have talked about that. Won't go in depth about that, but on the whole, I still think that the Presbyterian form of church government is more biblically accurate.
Debatable.
And our American form of government is actually heavily influenced by the Presbyterian form of church government.
That is true. People don't understand that American government was heavily influenced by Protestantism.
Heavily.
Right.
Yes.
Heavily. Right. We don't do popes.
Nope.
We don't do centralized power. Which is why you should be Baptist.
You know what, man? I would sooner become Reformed Baptist than I would use an Android phone. I can say that.
Oh, wow. Shots fired. Oh,
yeah, man. Yeah, man.
Well, you just stick with your little iPhone and driving your Prius and drinking your Starbucks.
That man said Prius. Man.
That's how I view people who use Apple.
Oh man. Man, I don't know.
Got your little MacBook out at Starbucks. Got your little Frappuccino. Yep. Iced latte. Then you get in your little Prius.
Listen to Taylor Swift on the way.
Yep.
Oh man.
Swifty.
Oh man. No, man. I just like for my devices to work.
Oh. There you go. All right. Yeah. Go ahead and drop it.
Oh man. So what's the final word, Kev? What's the final word?
I'll say this. The final word is we're gonna be all right. Just we know where we are. It's a shock to us, but we're gonna be all right. The Lord is doing something. Charlie's death has definitely sparked something. I know it sparked something in me. It sparked something in a lot of people. And as one person said, it was this person online they said they hadn't been religious, but they were going to go to church. And this is their reasoning, because they said, what they saw was evil. And if evil exists, then good must exist. Right. And so we know good exists, and we know the light overcomes the darkness. And so be encouraged, stay in high spirits, and know that none of this caught the Lord up by surprise. And we're gonna be okay regardless. He took John MacArthur went home to be with the Lord, then Charlie, and now today Body. And so the Christian community is feeling like we're losing these powerful foot soldiers in the midst of the war. Like the war has just got at this ultimate point, and we're losing people. But the Lord knows. The Lord knows, and He's raising up others. And it's not about the names. We don't know their names. A lot of people don't know my name, your name, but we're going to go out there and we're going to do what we've been called to do, which is to speak the truth in love, to confront evil, and to love our neighbors. And that's what we're going to do. And be faithful doing it. And if it ends with, what happened to Charlie, then it's just how it ends. But we're going to be faithful. And so that is my final thoughts on where we are. It's just for everybody just to be encouraged. But, let's kind of, be wise as serpents and innocent as doves. Just be wise and understand the age, the times that we're living in, and know who the enemy is, and know what we have to do to defeat him.
Amen, brother. Man, that's so good. Such a hope-filled message, and that is true. I mean, that's basically what we have to do. It's been a hard couple months for the church, man. But it means that we got to step up, like you said. It's been a hard couple weeks for the conservative movement, for Christian conservatives specifically. And the question is, if the Lord is asking, whom shall I send? We got to say, here I am, Lord. Here I am. Send me.
Yeah.
And I'm with you, brother. Hey, if I got to take a bullet for the truth, so be it.
Yeah. And that's the crazy. Destiny think that fear is going to make us coward. Like, man, you have no idea.
We're at our best.
No idea.
We're at our best when we're persecuted.
It's like Matt Chandler talking about Paul. No matter what the circumstances were, Paul was good. Because if things were great, he was like, yeah, great. You put him in jail. He was like, great, I'll just convert all your guards, right? If you tried to, beat him, I get to suffer as my Lord suffered, right? It was joy. If you tried to kill him, he was like, great, to die is gain. Like,
yes,
there's nothing you can do. Once the fear of death is removed, there's nothing you can do to stop someone from being faithful. And so this idea that the fear of death or people getting shot is going to drive us into some kind of cowardly corner and ball up, man, you have no idea.
No.
You have no idea.
No, man.
Yeah.
Our examples, our examples are the kind of men that could go and be burned at the stake and sing hymns while they're burning.
I was just thinking that Fox's Book of Martyrs.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Those are our examples. Those are the people that we look at them and we say, all right, this is where we got to be. God help us, give us boldness by your Spirit, but that's who we have to be in the face of such cruel hate. And may we be those people. May we not be soft, man. That's one of the biggest things. One of the biggest things for me, my final word is, you see what happened. We cannot be soft. We cannot be soft Christians. We cannot be sitting here acting like, we got to placate I love what Matt said. Matt said that winsome, that the quote unquote winsome wing, man. I feel. Let me not name names. Let me not name names because I was getting ready to name a particular publication.
I'll just say this: the winsome approach does not work in the negative world,
right?
You know, and what I mean by the negative world, when you have a culture that hates Christianity, Christianity is viewed as a negative. Your winsomeness means nothing. They don't care how nice you are, right? How winsome you are. They don't care. You know,
can you stand for the truth, even if you got a gun to your head? That's the question. And I'm not saying to go out there and be a jerk. That's not what we're saying. What we're saying, I mean, Charlie was out there and he knew how to debate. He knew how to throw hands in the debate. He knew how to throw rhetorical hands. And he could be nice. He could be very nice.
Yeah.
But and he never minced words, and he didn't back down.
Yep. I'll give an example. I won't name him, but there was a prominent political figure who was in a particular church, and she really said that she didn't really know what their position was on like LGBTQ stuff, right? And this was a prominent evangelical church, but they had chosen this approach to, this is a sensitive topic. We don't want to offend anybody, so we're just not going to say anything. That's the winsome approach, right?
Yeah.
It's so worried about offending people who are, I would just say, on the left, to where you basically, you tone down your Jesus and you tone down what you know is right because you think that's going to attract them.
Yes.
No.
It's over.
No. Not when they hate you. When they hate you, no.
Yeah. That's one thing. I can't remember who said it. But it was Megan Basham. It was Megan Basham. Okay. She said that for years and years we were told by some pretty prominent folks that basically that we needed to embrace this third way. We needed to embrace this third way. Otherwise, we weren't going to be able to reach the culture. And Charlie Kirk's memorial was a deafening refutation of that position. The third way is over.
100%.
It's over.
100%.
Third way is over. Like being rejected by the culture to the point that you get shot. The Lord took that, and look at the seed that was sown, and what the Lord is doing with the harvest there. I mean, the harvest is white, it's ready. So I'm saying all those people, like we said earlier, all the people making videos after Charlie Kirk got shot saying, I can't, we're primarily a political show. Our politics derive from our theology, so that's why y'all hear us talk about this. I appreciate that Charlie did not try to divorce his political position from his theology. I would go a step further than Charlie to say that the foundation of America is Christian, and I will argue against abortion from a Christian position. I will not try to say that it's not from a Christian position. Absolutely, it's from a Christian position because that's Christian air you're breathing right now. Those are Christian rights you're enjoying right now. Okay, those were Christian ideas. The Roman Empire didn't come up with that stuff. Okay, So, but that right there is what we got to do. People respect you keeping it real, even if it means you got to die for it. That's what they respect. They don't respect this third way soft nonsense where you don't really preach, you don't really say what's true because you might offend somebody. Like, Jesus didn't do that. Jesus never did that. Jesus kept it real. And so I am glad, because I think that third wayism died the same day that Charlie died. I hate that Charlie had to die for third wayism to die, because it needed to die on its own. But good job, brother. Enjoy your rest.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. All right, man. So that's a good show. I'm glad, we're back. We took off last week to kind of clear our heads, and we both had some things going on. My wife had a death in the family we were dealing with, and so so it's good to be back. And yeah, man, I'm looking forward to next week as the show will write itself.
That as it always does. And I just want to say that fall is coming, baby. Fall is coming. It's time to get you a new hoodie. Time to get you a new hoodie. Our hoodies are diverse. Hoodies are very diverse. And you want to get one, man, just to let people know that you embrace diversity. You embrace it.
Yeah. Go to our diverse and inclusive merch store and get your merch.
Yeah. Man.
But hey, y'all, we thank y'all for, just kind of hanging out with us for the last 3 hours. This has been a good time. Like I said, we missed you guys, and so it's good to be back. Future, thanks for all you do in the chat. Hey, you guys, thanks for supporting us. Like, subscribe, and tell somebody about the show, and until then, stay informed.
Stay informed, folks. Appreciate y'all.